All right, the objective for this lesson is for students to be able to find the surface area of pyramids, prisms, and cylinders. So this is in our textbook in chapter 8.2. In 8.2 part A, we just cut out some nets. Today we're going to actually take those figures that we made nets for and find the surface area. So the way this is going to work is we're going to learn to do surface area using a net, and then we're going to use some formulas to find them. But I first want you to understand and be able to visualize exactly what the surface area represents. So our first shape that we're going to look at is a pyramid. And we want to find the surface area of this pyramid. So here's the pyramid and here's the net for that pyramid. So I guess this is really a complicated way of thinking of it, but what you're doing is you're finding the area of this triangle, the area of this triangle, the area of this triangle, the area of this one, and the area of this square in the middle, and you're adding all those together. That's how you find the surface area of something. And just adding all the areas together. Now we're going to simplify this so it's not quite as much work as this. But I'll first want you to understand that surface area is just made up of the areas of all these pieces added together. And if you looked at the pyramid up here, you can see that we've got our 4 triangles and then our square base. We're just finding the area of all those and adding them together. So here's how we can simplify this. Recognize that all of these triangles have the same area. Right? All of these triangles have the same measurements, so they're going to have the same area. So to simplify our surface area equation, we're going to find area 1, which is this triangle, and we're going to multiply it times 4 because there are 4 of those. And then that just leaves us with area 5. So instead of finding area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and adding them all together, we're just going to find area 1, this triangle, multiply that area times 4, and then find the area of this square and add those together. All right, so let's first look at area 1 here. This is a triangle, so the formula is 1/2 base times height. So that's 1/2 times the base is 6. The height is 4. If you multiply those together, you get 12. So there are 4 triangles, each with an area of 12. So to find our surface area, we're going to take 12 times 4. Now we just need to find area 5. Area 5 is a square, so we're just going to take the 6 times the 6. So the area is 6 times 6, which gives me 36. So just to slow this down a little bit, I found the area of this triangle, 1/2 the base times the height, 1/2 times 6 times 4. It was 12. There are 4 identical triangles, so I'm taking that 12, the area of one triangle, and multiplying it times 4. Then I found the area of the remaining piece, which is a square, which is just 6 times 6. It's 36. So now I have 12 times 4 is 48, plus 36. My surface area is 84. So this is our answer to the question, find the surface area. Again, you're just finding the area of each piece that makes up the figure and adding them all together. But we shortcut it by looking for pieces that are the same. So that's the pyramid. So let's move to our next shape. Our next shape is the cylinder. So this is made up of this area, and this area. So there are 3 areas. So again, if I write this out the long way, the surface area would be area 1 plus area 2 plus area 3. But we notice that area 1 and area 2 are the same. So I can simplify this to be area 1 times 2, because there's 2 of them, plus area 3. So how do I find the area of a circle? It's pi times the radius squared. So that's 3.14 times 4 squared, or 3.14 times 16. Let me punch that in my calculator. 3.14 times 16. I get 50.24. So this circle has an area of 50.24. This circle also has an area of 50.24. And now I'm left with this area, area 3. This is just a rectangle, so it's base times height. So that's equal to 10 times 30, right? 30 and 10. So it has an area of 300. So over here for my surface area, I said take area of 1 and multiply it times 2 because there's 2 of them. So we're going to take 50.24 times 2. Then we're going to add this big rectangular area of 300. So this gives me 100.48 plus 300, which equals 400.48. So that's my surface area of the cylinder. Now, when I was looking at this last night, I realized that I had made a mistake in this. There's no way that this number could be 30. And if you have your net with you, take your net and fold it up to form it into a cylinder. So these sides wrap around the circle, right? You'd fold the circles in, wrap these sides up around the circle to form the cylinder. And what you should notice is that as this side wraps around the circle and this side wraps around the circle and they meet up here, the length of this matches with the circumference of this circle. So just think about that for a second. If you fold this up, wrap these sides around the circle, this length has to be the same as the circumference of the circle. 30 is not the circumference of this circle. The circumference is given by 2 times pi times the radius, which would be 2 times 3.14 times the radius of this circle is 4. So 6.28 times 4, I come up with 25.12. So this problem is not accurate. If it was to be accurate, this distance right here would really have to be 25.12. But we're just going to leave it as it is for now. Later on, we're going to learn to calculate this distance using the circumference. But I just want you to be aware of that right now. All right, so now we move on to our triangular prism. And so this one is actually made up of area 1, area 2, area 3, area 4, and the area 5. Okay? Now, again, we can notice, well, let me write this out. The surface area is represented by area 1 plus area 2. Now, we're not going to do all this work because we're going to simplify this. Plus area 4 plus area 5. First of all, area 4 and area 5 are the same, right? So I can just take area 4 times 2. Now here's another trick where we can really simplify this. Let's just treat this as one giant rectangle. We treat this whole thing as just one giant rectangle. We know this measurement, this is 10. That's the height of the rectangle. If we add these numbers together, it'll give us the base. So let me, hold on with me one second. Just want to make sure this is clear to you. So I have this triangle. This isn't going to be perfect. So this triangle is meant to represent, or not triangle, rectangle, sorry. This rectangle is meant to represent this rectangle. I know they're not the same size. Pretend like they are. So we have 10, 10. If I add 7 plus 6 plus 7, that gives me this measurement, right? So 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 7 is 20. So the area of this giant rectangle, base times height, is equal to 10 times 20. So it equals 200. So this giant rectangle here has an area of 200. Let's go back up here to this. Did I say this is a triangle again? I've been saying this too much today, I guess. This rectangle is 200. So let's go up to this triangle. This is a triangle. The formula for finding the area of the triangle, again, is 1/2 the base times the height. So that's 1/2 times the base is 6. And the height is 4. So the area of this triangle is 12, which is the same as the area of this triangle. So here's how we're going to simplify this surface area formula. We're going to take this triangle, which was 12, and multiply it times 2, because there's 2 of them. Right? This is 12, this is 12. Plus, I'm going to take this giant rectangle, which we said had an area of 200. And so now I have 24 plus 200 equals 224. So that's the surface area of this triangular prism. So let me just back up and say this again. I treated this as one giant rectangle. It's got a height of 10 and a base of 20. I get the 20 by adding these 3 numbers together. So 10 times 20 gave me the 200. Then I have this triangle. The formula is 1/2 the base times the height. So 1/2 times 6 times 4, which gave me 12. There's 2 of those. So I took 12 times 2 to get 24. 24 plus the 200 gave me 224. And now the last one. The last one is a rectangular prism. And hopefully you see how we can shortcut this like we did on the last one. We're going to treat this like one giant rectangle again. Treat this as one giant rectangle. The area is given as the base times the height. The base I can get by adding these numbers together. 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 20. The height is 10. So it's the same as our last rectangle. It's 200. The area of this rectangle, base times height, equals 6 times 4. Here's my 6, here's my 4, so that's 24. This rectangle is the same, it's 24. So I have 24 plus 24 plus 200 is the surface area. Or I could just do 24 times 2, because there's 2 of them, plus the 200. So I have 48 plus 200 equals 248. All right? So what I want you to get out of this is that the surface area is just made up of lots of areas added together. So you're just finding the area of each piece of the figure and adding them all together. And I went through this kind of quick, so if you didn't catch something, just back up on the little piece that you didn't get and watch it again. All right? So this is Mr. Bywater out.